very good indeed. And in terms of winning, you guys think we're going to win and win well. 2 goals, 3+ goals, it's all out there. And I think that's boosted really by the return of Messi. We don't know if he'll start yet, but even including him in the squad, he is ready should we need him. And that in itself, a massive, massive boost. And in terms of our rivals at the top of La Liga this weekend, Atletico Madrid are actually the only team who've already been in action this weekend. They're playing on the Saturday, and they're actually, as I'm recording this, in action against struggling Athletic. But Sevilla, who are third, and our neighbours, really surprisingly, Espanyol, who are currently in second in La Liga, will actually face each other on Sunday, and that'll be the game after hours on the Sunday. And Real Madrid, currently in 6th place in La Liga, face a potentially tricky visit to Balaidos to face Celta Vigo. That one won't be easy, so there's certainly pressure on us this weekend to get a win, to get those 3 points. Very, very important indeed, especially when you consider how many different teams there are at the top right now, battling for points, battling for that top spot. We want to get a win here, get those 3 points, get them in the bag for the international break, and maintain our lead at the top where we want to be. And moving on then to our opposition, and those 3 points, if we want to get them, certainly will not come easy. Facing a Betis side that can certainly play, they play a fantastic brand of football, and even though their start of the season hasn't been ideal, they're not sitting pretty in La Liga, they want to be in the sort of top 6, fighting for those European places, not in the bottom half. But even so, we will still need to be wary of the threat they pose under their coach Quique Setién. And just to talk specifically about Setién just for a moment here, who's been spoken about really as the ideal coach for Barca in the way that he plays, the way that he goes about his work, and he certainly is a coach who will have his side working with the ball, playing with the ball, always about the ball. He loves possession, he'll ask them to be patient, and that's something actually, looking at this game in a bit more detail, that could work in our favour. His dependence upon possession and playing the right way, which I think is massively admirable. I'm a huge, huge admirer of Setién as a coach. I think the way he sets up his teams deserves huge, huge credit. Not only his work with Betis, but Las Palmas as well. He played the right way, always the right way. But here, at the Camp Nou, only one team can have the ball, and we have to make sure that is us. Because if it is us, if we're controlling that ball, if we're dominating possession, Real Betis are going to be playing a game they don't like to play. They don't want to be on the back foot. They don't want to be having to play dictated to them. They want to be the dictators. We're not going to let them. We're going to have that ball. We're going to use it. We're going to try and get to that offence. And it isn't really a surprise to me that Quique Setién has never ever beaten Barcelona as a coach in La Liga. And I think that's simply because when we face teams who do like to play, who do want the ball, and don't necessarily set up to defend, soak up the pressure, and sit deep, we love those kind of oppositions. We love people to come out, try and play us, try and take us on, because we can exploit that. We can go for the spaces, we can get in behind if we need to, we can have control of the ball, and really use it in all of our favour, while trying to draw them out, draw them onto us, and really, really hurting them. And that's why Ernesto Valverde has to tomorrow keep that focus on midfield, really base all of his plans around those midfield areas, packing the middle if we need to. We've done that in recent weeks anyway, so nothing should change tomorrow. Carry on that momentum, carry on the confidence that we've been building in the weeks that we have gone by without Messi, and if you can put him back into that, we have there an unstoppable team, and really, we should be winning this tomorrow. And actually, guys, I do want to move straight on here with the squad list and the official announcement from Ernesto Valverde, because there are many, many different talking points from this squad list. It's not only about Messi, you've also here got the return of Samuel Umtiti, and I think that's massive. I think obviously we've all been waiting for Messi to return, but Umtiti, you remember a few weeks ago, it looked like he might have to have surgery. He might have to have surgery. He wouldn't have been back until 2019. He's managed to avoid that. He's been working really, really hard in training, and a lot of respect goes out to him for that. He is back now in the squad, along with Ter Stegen, Semedo, Piqué, Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, Denis Suarez included. That's a big inclusion there. Arthur, Suarez, Messi, Rafinha, Sillerson, Malcolm is there again. I'm sure we're going to see him tomorrow. Clement Longley, Alba, Munir, Roberto, Vidal, Umtiti, and Carlos Alenia also included in the squad. It's nice to see Alenia becoming a regular feature in this squad. Hopefully, maybe at some point in this game, he can get some minutes. But one person not in the squad for tomorrow, Ousmane Dembele. Now, I'm not going to go too far into this, but what I will say on this is, in the last day or two, he hasn't been able to train. I told you in my news roundup video he had a lot of stomach pain, but in the recent days, in the Spanish media, they really have been going for him. They say that Barcelona didn't really know his whereabouts until an hour and a half, then he told them he has stomach pain. There's a lot of drama over that, but what I want to say is, Sport and Munir Deportivo, I'm not going to show you their covers, because I think actually they love sticking the knife in Dembele right now. Anything to do with Dembele, anything negative they can put a spin on it, they are loving it. And I don't know why, I don't know why there's such an agenda against one of our own players. He's not in the squad for tomorrow. I think that's personally because he hasn't been well, he hasn't been fully fit. That's the reason here. Messi has returned, Umtiti has returned, and now you'll move on to not one lineup, but I'm going to show you a few here that you can choose from depending on which way you're going to go in this kind of game. And this is the first lineup here, guys, that I will show you. And what I'm going to call this is the absolutely no-risk lineup. And that's simply because no Samuel Umtiti. What you would do here is stick with Longley, stick with PK, stick with the back four, really, that we've been using for a number of weeks. Try and keep it as consistent as you can. In midfield, again, try and keep that consistency going. It's the game before the international break. There's no real need to do any serious rotation here. But what you do up front there, you play Malcolm, you reward him for his goal. And I think whatever happens, to be honest, tomorrow, Malcolm deserves a start. He came on against Inter, against all the odds. He scored a brilliant goal. Now let that confidence, let that momentum continue. Give him what he deserves. Put him in the starting lineup. And then you've got Rafinha over here on the right-hand side, simply because there's not a lot of other options. We know that Coutinho now injured for 2 or 3 weeks. No Ousmane Dembele. We didn't expect that one a few days ago. What we've got to do now is fill that void. What you could do, you could put Rafinha here. What you could also do is actually swap them out and replace Rafinha with somebody who maybe wouldn't have expected to be in the team a few weeks ago, but you could put in instead Denis Suarez on the left-hand side. And not only with Denis Suarez, you can play him as a winger, he can also quite happily slot in here to make more compact midfield choices. You can pack the centre of the pitch, like we said, try and dominate possession against Real Betis. That's what you can do. There is the other option, though, of this. And suddenly, your lineup just went 0 to 100 real quick. Lionel Messi back in the team, but would you start him? That is the genuine question going into this game. I think with Samuel Umtiti, I wouldn't take any risk with him. I don't think there's any need to take any risk with him. I think Langley has been so good since we brought him in. He's adapted seamlessly. There's no real need to push it ahead of the international break. There's no need to do that. And the question is, do you risk Messi from the start? Now, a lot of people, I think, will say, you know what, we need to start him. But what I would say is, there's no reason to risk Messi in this lineup. Would you be saying to start Messi if Dembele was available, if Coutinho was available? Would you still be saying then, play Messi, put him in the starting lineup and risk him? I don't think we would, and I don't think we should. I don't think Messi should be risked for this game if he's not 110% fit, because otherwise it makes no sense. I would love to see him come off the bench tomorrow. I'd love to see him come on at some stage against Betis and make his return, but I think starting him, there's not a lot of need to do that. Before this international break, let's start with Malcolm, let's start with Rafinha, let's see how things go. If we need him, you can bring him off the bench if you really want to, but other than that, you wait until after the international break when we've got Atletico Madrid away from home. We need him for that game, and we need him fit. So like I said, guys, it really is over to you there. I'm not sure which one to go with. Like I said, if Messi, there's any shadow of a doubt, he's one player you just don't risk. You don't take any risks whatsoever with that man. Keep him fresh, keep him fit. We need him this season, full stop. And my match prediction for this game, going with my first lineup, is going to be this: Barcelona 2, Real Betis 0, which coincidentally is the same scoreline that we beat them by last season, which was Ernesto Valverde's very first game in La Liga.